Mirage Digital presents The Amazing Stories with Zaki the Hoopoe. Season 2, Special 5. The Sleepers of the Cave. Salam, my fine feathered friends. It's Zaki, your favorite storytelling hoopoe, flapping in with a brand new tale of faith, courage, and something very mysterious. Now, before we begin, I know what you're wondering. Where's Nora? Is she off chasing ancient treasure maps again? Well, close. Nora's away this week on her junior storyteller training retreat. There's leaf cape polishing, scroll calligraphy, and a workshop called How to Gasp Dramatically Without Spitting Feathers. She's going to be a storytelling pro in no time.
Aye, peace on the perch at last. No wild swooshes or sudden bang in me tail feathers.
Come now, Captain, you'll miss her soon enough. You always do.
I'll miss the quiet once she comes back. That's what I'll miss.
Anyway, today's story, this one gives me shivers every time I tell it. It's about a group of young people, just ordinary folks like you and me, who found themselves in a moment of great danger. But instead of giving in, they made a choice. A choice to hold on to their faith, even when the world around them was turning against them.
Danger, you say? Were there pirates, monsters, giant sea eels with mustaches?
Even stranger, Captain. No swords, no battles. And yet, this might be one of the most courageous stories we've ever told. What happened to them? Where did they go? And what secret did they carry for years and years to come? But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's begin, shall we? This is the story of the ones who stepped away from the world and into something only Allah could have written.
By the winds of Yemen, now I'm intrigued. Lead the way, young feathers.
Then flap close and listen well. It's time to enter the cave. Long ago, in a city wrapped in stone and silence, there lived a group of young people who were just like everyone else, at least on the outside. They walked the busy streets, heard the merchants shout their prices, passed by statues carved from stone. But in their hearts, something felt wrong.
Statues, you say? Sounds like a boring town square. Not even a decent fountain to fish from.
Oh, but it was more than that, Captain. This city had forgotten Allah. People worshipped idols, stone faces that couldn't speak, couldn't help, couldn't hear. The ones in power were cruel, and anyone who dared believe in the one true God, well, they were in danger.
Danger? For believing? What kind of topsy-turvy city is this? Even the seagulls have freedom of squawk where I come from.
But that's just it, Captain. These young people didn't just believe quietly. They lived their faith with honesty and courage. They couldn't pretend to bow to idols. They couldn't laugh at what was wrong or stay silent when the truth was being crushed.
Aye, sounds like they had backbones made of cedar wood.
One by one, they began to find each other, in secret corners of the market, in the quiet shadows of the hills, whispering verses they remembered from the stories of the prophets, of Ibrahim, of Musa, of those who came before. They didn't wear uniforms, they weren't warriors, just ordinary youth with extraordinary hearts. And as the voices of their city grew louder, pressuring them, threatening them, forcing them, they knew they had to make a choice.
A choice between staying and pretending or flying free into the unknown.
Exactly, Captain. And so, one night under a sky thick with stars, they met just outside the city walls. No riches, no weapons, just each other and their faith.
And what did they do, eh? Run for the hills, hide under a rock?
Not under a rock, but into one. They found a cave, an old hidden cave nestled between cliffs and silence. No one knew it was there. No one would know. It was dusty, cold, empty. But for them, it was a place of hope.
Bah, caves are dark, damp, and have terrible acoustics.
They weren't looking for comfort, Captain. They were looking for safety. a place to pray, to rest, to ask Allah for guidance. So they entered the cave, sat together in the darkness, and whispered a dua, their hearts beating with fear and trust. And then something happened. Something no one could have expected. But that is what we'll discover next.
I knew it. You're going to leave me hanging like a rope on a stormy mast.
Patience, Captain. Even the deepest truths take time, especially when time itself is about to change. Inside the cave, it was silent. So silent, you could hear the flutter of a moth's wing. The group of faithful youth sat close together, their eyes adjusting to the darkness. Outside the city searched for them. Soldiers were sent. Threats were shouted. But in the cave, all was still.
Still? I don't trust still. Still means something's about to not be still.
That's what makes this story so miraculous, Captain. The young believers weren't hiding in fear. They had put their trust in Allah. Their hearts were calm. They made dua, asking Allah to guide them, protect them, and suddenly, the air in the cave changed. It was as if time itself held its breath.
Now, wait just a flapping second. Don't you start with your mystical riddles again, Zaki. What changed? Was there a lightning bolt, a sandstorm, a giant mole who showed them a tunnel?
No, Captain. Nothing crashed. Nothing exploded. There was no booming voice or blinding flash. What happened next was quiet. So quiet, in fact, that you might miss it if I whispered it too softly.
Well, then speak up, young feathers. Don't leave an old bird on a cliff edge.
Okay, here it is. They began to sleep.
Oh, what? That's it. They took a nap. Is this a story or a bedtime routine?
Not a nap, Captain. Not a snooze. Not even a proper rest. This was something else. Something otherworldly. Their eyes closed, their bodies relaxed, and time simply slipped past them.
Wait, time slipped? How many hours are we talking? 2, 3? I once napped through a rainstorm and missed an entire herring market.
Longer than that, Captain.
A day?
Much longer.
A week?
Keep going.
A moon cycle? A migration season? Zaki, how long did these brave sleepyheads nap?
Now that, my feathery friend, is what we're getting to next.
By the gulls of Gibraltar, you're worse than a treasure map with half the islands missing.
Patience, Captain. Some stories stretch further than we expect. And this one? Oh, it stretches across time itself. Deep in the cave, all was quiet. The youth, brave, faithful, and trusting, lay peacefully, their hearts calm, their breathing steady, and outside, the world kept spinning. The city they had left behind, it changed. New rulers came and went, buildings crumbled, roads faded, the idols were smashed and swept away, and then, one day, the sunlight gently peeked into the cave. One of the youth stirred, his eyes blinked open, dust sparkled in the air. He stretched and looked around. He turned to the others. "Wake up," he whispered. "We must have dozed off. Maybe an afternoon at most."
Wait, he thought it was just a nap? Bah ha ha ha! Oh, I love this part already.
Yes, none of them knew what had happened yet. Their hair hadn't grown long. Their faces looked just the same. They felt like no time had passed at all. They stepped out of the cave and didn't recognize a single thing.
Like waking up and realizing someone's rearranged your entire nest, replaced your fish, and renamed your parrot.
Exactly. When they reached the city, things felt off. The clothes people wore, the way they spoke, the coins they used.
Coins? Don't tell me they tried to buy breakfast with ancient money.
That's exactly what happened, Captain. One of them went to buy bread, and when he handed over the coins, the baker's eyes went wide. "Where did you get this? This coin hasn't been used in centuries." People gathered, questions flew, and slowly the truth unfurled. These weren't travelers from a distant town, they were travelers from a distant time.
Feathers and foam, they slept for how long?
Over 300 years, Captain. Allah had protected them. Their faith, their bodies, their rest, preserved like a scroll waiting to be unrolled. And when the world was finally ready to hear their story, Allah let them wake.
300 years, blimey! That is impressive. That has me jealous a bit. That's no nap. That's the kind of sleep legends are made of.
Okay, anyways, let's get back to the story. When the people realized who the youth were, and when they were from, a great stir spread through the city. Word reached the king, a kind and believing man who had heard ancient tales of young ones who had once fled persecution for the sake of their faith.
Let me guess, he thought the tale was just legend, like the great squid Asana. I still say I saw it.
But this was no legend, Captain. The king recognized them. These young men were living proof that Allah protects His servants. Even across the centuries, the youth were invited to the palace, treated with respect, and honored for their unwavering belief.
Well, that's a twist. Usually people get chased with sticks in these stories.
But the youth weren't seeking fame or fortune. They only wanted to worship Allah and live in peace. So after sharing their story, they quietly returned to the cave where it all began, accompanied by their loyal companion, yes, I almost forgot, their dog, who had guarded the entrance all along.
A dog? In a sacred story? That's a first. Well, that mutt must have had the patience of a prophet.
He was noble and loyal, and Allah even mentioned him in the Qur'an. His name isn't told to us, but his faithfulness earned him a place in the story of the righteous. And there, in the cool darkness of the cave, the youth lay down once more. Not because they were tired, but because their part in the story was complete. And with Allah's mercy, they slept again. Some say they passed away peacefully, their mission fulfilled. Others believe they are still resting, waiting until a time only Allah knows, when they may rise again to once more remind the world of His power and truth. Their cave became a symbol, not just of time, but of trust, not just of escape, but of endurance. They had asked Allah to protect their faith, and He had done more than they could ever imagine. What a marvelous tale that turned out to be, my fine-feathered friends! The story of the sleepers in the cave teaches us something so powerful. When we hold on to truth, when we stay loyal to what's right, even if we're scared, even if the world around us changes, Allah never forgets us. The youth didn't know what would happen. They didn't have a plan. They didn't fight or run or shout. They simply trusted that Allah would guide them, and He did in the most unexpected, miraculous way. So if you ever feel alone for doing what's right, if you feel like the world is going one way but your heart knows better, remember the people of the cave. They didn't give up. They gave it to Allah. Because sometimes real courage doesn't look loud. Sometimes it looks like patience, like stillness, like faith that waits.
Or faith that naps, apparently.
Captain!
What? I'm just saying, next time someone catches me sleeping through chores, I'll say, leave me be. I am practicing cave-level tawakkul.
That is not how it works.
Too late. Already carved it into my seashell pillow.
Well, my friends, don't carve that into your pillows. Just remember, when the world feels loud and fast and confusing, your quiet, trusting heart may be the bravest thing of all. Whew, what a story, what a miracle, what a moment of trust! And that, my fine feathered friends, wraps up this special tale. But not our journey together. Because next time we meet, oh, get ready, the wait is over, the winds are changing, and we begin a brand new season. Season 3.
By the tides of Tabuk, it's about time. My feathers have been fluffed in anticipation.
Season 3 begins with the thrilling conclusion to the night of Hijrah. That's right, We'll follow the prophet's escape from Makkah and the journey that changed history forever. But that's just the beginning, because in Season 3, we enter the next chapter of the prophet's life, the city of Medina, a place of hope, courage, battles, treaties, and camels with very strong opinions.
I once debated a camel. He won with a stare.
We'll witness the building of the prophet's mosque, the brotherhood between the new Muslims of Medina and those who made the journey from Makkah, and the courage of the believers in great battles and trials to come.
So, grab your scrolls, secure your saddles, and brace your beaks. It's going to be a bumpy, beautiful ride.
We'll see you in Season 3, my friends. Until then, stay brave, stay kind, and always remember, when you trust in Allah, you're never alone, even in a cave.
Or under a blanket, or on a hammock, or in a suspiciously large teacup, which I swear was a nest.
Captain, just say goodbye.
Fair winds, young listeners. May your naps be short and your faith be strong.
See you soon, Story Seekers. Season 3, here we come.
And if anyone needs me, I'll be in a cave trying to sleep until Season 4.
This story was produced by Mirage Digital. Voices provided by Wayne Holland as Zaki and Curtis Fletcher as Captain Suhail. Episode written, directed, and edited by Syed Kashef and Atef Hussain. For more content by Mirage Digital, please visit our site at www.mirage.digital.
Content copyright and production copyright 2025 by Mirage Digital.